So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming out today. And how many of you would like to learn how to make a day's pay before the market is opened? Yes, everybody's hand should be going up. And yeah, so today I'm going to be sharing with you my secrets on how to find the highest probability trade setups. These are the secrets that have given me a 93% success rate on my popular Whisper of the Day free YouTube videos. How many of you already receive my free video every morning? You do? Oh, excellent, great. So I'm also going to teach you how to learn how to profit off the Darkpool. But before we start, are there any lawyers here today? There's always one in the front row. So this is for you. You can read it there. I have to cover my bases here. This is my risk disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen. Please look it over, read it. Today's presentation is solely for educational purposes. Please paper trade until you have mastered trading. Now, most traders trade on emotion. They trade on greed. They trade on fear, all right? Don't put yourself into the trade. The trade has nothing to do with you. It's purely mathematics. There's no right, there's no wrong in trading. There's no emotions. Trading is really important that you have rules to be a successful trader. And today I'm going to be sharing the rules that have given me a high success rate. But it's really important that you have discipline to follow the rules, because I can give everybody here all my rules, but do you have the discipline to actually follow them? And that really is the secret. Now, I know some of you are probably wondering where I learned how to trade, right? Anybody here want to know? Well, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't learn how to trade in college. I mean, did anybody here? Did they teach you how to trade? No, they teach you global macroeconomics, finance, all that good stuff. I didn't take any of that stuff. I majored in psychology, and it's really important for trading. I love psychology. I love the way the brain works, human emotions, all that good stuff. But I'm going to be honest, I had no desire to be a clinical psychologist. And I had a lot of student loans that I needed to pay, and I needed a job, okay? So I got a job in 1994. I got a job at Schoenfeld Securities, the largest prop firm in New York. And I was an assistant to one of the biggest traders there. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I knew nothing about trading, nothing. But I sat in the $1 million room at Schoenfeld Securities. People would pay money to sit where I sat, and I was learning how to trade. They were paying me, and I was learning from the best traders. And I'm going to get to that in just a little bit. But there are advantages, you guys, to living on the West Coast. Oops, somebody walked in front of that. All right, for one thing, besides the climate, the stock market is open from 6:30 till 1 p.m. That's fantastic. You guys have all day. I live in New York, and I trade. I'm a workaholic because I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I really don't stop until about 5 o'clock. So that's a long day. When I'm here, I'm 3 to 1, and it's great. Day traders only need to work from 5 to 8 a.m. Isn't that great? After that, you could go back to sleep. Okay? Or you can go to work if you want, right? It's really important psychologically to have an income when you're learning how to trade and you're not thinking about money. I think that's a really big part of trading. A lot of people are so focused on the money, but if you have outside income, you're not thinking about money, you're really thinking about learning how to trade, right? Really, really important. But this is where I started, Schoenfeld Securities. And again, I sat in the $1 million room. And it was fantastic. And I'm going to tell you, I knew nothing. I never did one trade, but I learned from the best traders out there. Now, we switched to another firm, on-site trading, about a year later because my boss didn't want to pay those high commissions, and on-site trading offered us a really great deal, lower commissions. Back then, commissions were $20 a ticket. You guys remember that? $19.99 a ticket? crazy, right? So they offered us like $1 cheaper. We ran to on-site trading. So about a year later, my boss decided he didn't want to pay New York state tax. So he moved to Florida, and I thought that I was going to be out of a job. But on-site trading had a lot of confidence in me, and they gave me $250,000 to trade with. I was the first female trader. I worked with about 100 men. And I never thought about money, guys. I just thought about trading correctly. In my first year, did really, really well. I made more money than I ever thought I could. I paid all my student loans. I bought a car. I was Trader of the Year. And my firm gave me another $250,000 to trade with. And that was fantastic. I ran a trading desk, and I taught all the guys, because they were all guys at the time, my system. And what I learned is that if I can teach everybody around me my system, guess what? They're calling out exactly what I want all day long. So instead of making $500 a day, I was making $5,000 a day because I had 30 great setups. And I'm going to be showing you my favorite high probability setups. Now, I've been swing trading for a long time. About 9 years ago, I ventured into day trading. And when you tell people you're a day trader, it's like you said a dirty word, right? What do you do? Day trade. Oh, my God, you're one of those. Not. But it's been fantastic. Learning how to day trade really helps you to master your entries and your exits on swing trading. My swing trading improved a lot. My timing is amazing. Now, over the past 3 years, I've been really busy. I've been traveling with Larry Berman up in Canada. He's one of the biggest portfolio managers. He's on TV. He's on BNN every Monday. He has a show called Berman's Call. I've also been on tour with The Money Show and the Traders Expo. I've been presenting in Toronto for 3 years, San Francisco, Las Vegas quite a few times. I love Las Vegas, one of my favorites. New York Expo, where I'm from. Orlando, Texas. I presented for the Association for Technical Analysis, the Canadian Society of Technical Analysis. I've been traveling a lot. But it doesn't matter where I am. I have a laptop, and I run my live trading room out of it every single day. I hate missing a day of trading. Okay, I am really, I love it. I really do love it. Now, I share my screen all day long in my trading room, and I teach my traders how to follow the smart money and follow the dark pool. Every morning, I put out a free YouTube video called The Whisper of the Day. And what that is, it's my hot stock pick for the day. For example, today's whisper. Anybody get today's whisper? Okay, you did, right? Today's whisper, I was very bearish on Gap stores after the earnings. I spotted selling pre-market at $28.55, so I was bearish below $28.50, and it went all the way down to $26, $2.50 down. I was also bullish on Applied Materials, above $30.40, because I spotted a lot of price action there this morning, and it went all the way to $30.90. Apple, I spotted 15 million trade a couple days ago at 108.93, so I'm still bullish on that. It closed at 110. XLF, I spotted millions and millions of trades, buy prints I call them, at $21.80 and bullish above 22, and that went to about 22.20 today. So I do this every morning, and I don't just call out a stock and say buy it or short it. There's always a level involved with it, that I'm bullish above and bearish below. All my videos are up on my YouTube channel. So I have 3 years worth. You guys have time over the weekend. You can watch them. They're about 4 minutes long, each of them. And you'll learn a lot by watching them. So, my success rate is really, really high. It's ridiculous. It's 93%, okay? I'm not making this up. Everybody wants to know my secret. And I'm going to be sharing my secret with you guys today. But you can't tell anybody, okay? So my number one secret to finding the hottest stock of the day is momentum. Are there any scientists here today? No, we're in Vegas. There's no scientists in Vegas. I go to California. There's a lot of them there. So the scientific definition of momentum is the product of mass and velocity, but the day trader's definition of momentum is on the move, okay? When a stock is trading before the market is opened, okay? It's got momentum, right? There's heavy interest in it, and when the stock opens up, it's going to go up like a rocket ship. Therefore, having great momentum is so important. Now, how many of you get pre-market data on your software? Okay, that's not enough hands here. You guys, if you're trading, you need to see pre-market data. Actually, markets are open at 4 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, so it's like 1 o'clock in the morning here. So if you're up, you can definitely watch that. But that is my secret. I need to see 100,000 shares traded before the market is open. 100,000 shares. You know what that tells me? That tells me where the big guys are buying and where the big guys are selling. And that's exactly what I spotted this morning. I spotted them selling on Gap stores at $28.55. I spotted them buying on Applied Materials at $30.40. And these are my levels, and this is really my secret. So what happens when you don't have pre-market data? You have no idea what's going on. You don't know where the big guys are buying and selling. And here's a perfect example. You get a pop and a drop when you don't have volume. So here's an example on Marathon Oil, MRO. So I've shaded in the pre-market trading so you can see. Now on September 2nd, MRO closed at $15.49. Now the next trading day, it opened up higher. It gapped up to $15.85. That's 35 cents higher, okay? But there was no volume, okay? Stocks that gap up on very little volume end up dropping like a rock. Now, as a swing trader, an overnight trader where I buy stocks at the close and I sell them the next morning, when I had stocks that opened up like this, higher, that I was going long on with no volume, you know what I did? I sold it pre-market. As a day trader, okay, I'm never going to get faked out. It has to be real volume, really holding up. It's really easy for them to do one of those pop and drop scenarios. Now, that's why I need to see 100,000 at least. I like to see a lot more than that. Now, take a listen to a recent whisper that I did November 9th. From about 2 weeks ago. It's going to get louder in a minute.
Good morning, Stephanie Cameraman, the Stock Whisperer, here to tell you the whisper of the day. But before we get to today's whisper, you know it, we got to talk about yesterday's whisper. Holy cow, copper. Copper was hot once again. My traders were rocking this. FCX hit my high-end target, and it's still going. And that leads me to the trader of the day. His name is Robert T, but we call him the Mole Man. And he was rocking FCX options. I don't know, I think he made over 100% ROI. The whole room was rocking copper. And also XME. This has been a huge winner. Thank you, Cameron, for the call out the other day. Many of us are in the options. I'm in the 28th in December, which will be in the money. And it's looking fantastic. Also, MT was another great trade yesterday. Off those prints, you can see we're way above those prints as well. And gold. Gold, we were watching GDX, that 24 level. There was actually two great trades, one below and one above on that level that many of my traders in the room took it. And this leads me to the whisper today, right? We're all watching the gold stocks. I'm watching the prints. We had a huge Donald Trump print on IAU this morning. 8.5 million shares. Look at this print right here. Yeah, when we see these big trades coming in, we know there's going to be a big movement. So we're going to use this as a level. Now, the old print that we had, if you recall, was 1227, and we closed just above that yesterday, which was a bullish sign. That was a major level the Darkpool was buying. So we're going to watch this level. We're going to be bullish above, bearish below. Let it give it some room. And I don't trade IU. Definitely trade GDX instead, because IAU is a little bit slow. But use that level when you're trading the gold stocks. And of course, we're going to see what other prints are coming in. And we have a lot of prints on the bank stocks. The bank stocks are hot this morning. And here's a nice 500,000 print on Bank of America at 1735. So I'm going to watch the 1737 level, bullish above. We already hit 1750 once, and there were sellers there this morning. If she can break above 1750 the second time, there's room to go up to about 18. That's been a major resistance on this channel right here. All right, so that's definitely the levels we're going to watch on that. We also got prints on XLF this morning. Massive prints coming in here at $20.30 and $20.35. And look at this million share print at 2011. So we're going to just draw lines there. We're going to be bullish above and bearish below already. Bonds are showing some weakness today. Many of my traders have been shorting the bond stocks, including myself, since July. And so today is definitely a good day for the short positions out there on the bonds. So come watch me trade these stocks along with my amazing traders in the Job Pit Trading Room at www.thestockwhisperer.com. It's only $9.95 for a 30-day trial membership. You got nothing to lose. Happy trading, everybody.
All right, so that's an example of my whisper. I had 4 stocks that day. Sometimes I have 1, sometimes I have 2, sometimes I have 4, sometimes I have 6. It really depends on pre-market price action. I got to step out, and this was a really big day. So we're going to start with Bank of America. So here's a chart of, this is all pre-market, by the way. The market hasn't even opened yet, okay? And look what it's doing. It's making higher highs, higher lows. It's on a really nice upward trend, and you can see there's plenty of volume. This is extremely bullish when I see this, but even better than that was the huge 500,000 print. Now, a print is a trade. It's been printed and recorded, and so when you hear me talk about a print, it's an actual trade that was executed. So I'm going to show you. This is my block trade indicator, and we call it my ATM machine. I've set it up to scan all the big size prints, all the big size trades. The first column is 50,000 shares. Anything that's trading 50,000 shares or higher is printed here. Now notice this is at 8:42 Eastern Standard Time. The market hasn't opened, and look at all these trades, right? It's amazing. This is the best column. The second one, 500,000 shares. Anything higher than that, okay? That's what we want to pay attention to. We struck gold this day. Now this third column is anything related to the market. I call it my correction column, and this is all gold, oil, silver, natural gas, and the dollar. But it was right here, that trade circled in red on Bank of America. 500,000 shares at $17.35. Somebody bought it. And you're probably wondering, how do you know somebody bought it, right? Maybe somebody sold it, right? Gotta be, well, I'll tell you what, it's really easy. We're bullish above, we're bearish below, no thinking. And that's why in my whisper, I was bullish above $17.35. That's my first entry. If you missed that, $17.50 was my second entry, and 18 was my target. Okay, so this is how Bank of America traded. Now I've drawn a line here where that print was, all right, and you can see it went right to 18 where it found resistance. Stocks trade off of levels. We're trading against computers, and as long as you know the levels, it's pretty easy to follow along with that. Now, in case you missed this trade, there was another trade, same exact thing. So what a popular pattern is for stocks to come back down and retest where that print was at 1735. And that's exactly what it did. It came all the way down there. So if you missed it the first time, or you could take it again for a second run, okay? And there's a second trade all the way to 18. So, we made a quick 50 cents before we went to work. Not bad, right? Now, I usually trade 1,000 shares, but I highly suggest you start really small. Well, first of all, paper trade, make sure you know what you're doing. Start small and work your way up. But, 1,000 shares, 50 cents is not bad. So that was a great whisper, but that wasn't the only great trade that day. XLF, which is the financial ETF, also had some big prints. We actually had 3 of them in the morning. We had a million at $20.11, $500,000 at $20.35, and another $500,000 at $20.30. So we were bullish above the highest print, above $20.35, and we were bearish below the lowest print, below $20.11. So let's check out how XLF traded that day. And again, I've drawn lines where the prints were. And you can see that XLF stayed above that black line, those print lines. And, there's your 30 cents before you go to work. And if there's more, room, if you want to put a stop in, if you want to stay and not go to work, right, which a lot of us do, you could have traded this pretty much all day. It's still going up, by the way, still buying. I'll let you know when they sell the bank stocks, okay? I will let you know they are still buying them, right? So that same whisper, I was bearish on the bonds, TLT. This is the pre-market price action, and this is exactly the opposite. First of all, look at the volume, and it was on a downward trend, making lower lows, lower highs on low volume. And here's what happened when the market opened up. TLT came all the way down from 126 down to 124. It's a $2 move. It was a really great trade. Now, I like to do options on TLT because it's very pricey. So I had bought the puts. It was really great. Now, the next one was really my favorite on IAU. How many of you trade gold? Anyone? Yeah, gold is my favorite. We get a lot of big prints on those. And this was enormous print on IAU. You guys look at that, 8 million shares. And this is before the market even opened. And they're pretty much telling us what level to be bullish or bearish on. So it was 8 million at $12.56. Now, I don't always know what it is. Is it buying or selling? But once the market opens up and it doesn't go above it, smart money is selling. And look what happened. There's the prints, right? Never went above it. In fact, it went all the way down. Okay, so this is pretty easy, right? It's not difficult. Now, I have other secrets. It's not the only thing that I look at when I'm picking these stocks. I have a big secret when it comes to a moving average. How many of you have a moving average on your chart? Everybody, right? Come on, everybody's got a moving average. I have a lot, but there's one that's my favorite when it comes to following the trend. The trend is so important, especially the longer term trend, especially when I'm day trading. Most people think day trading, the only thing you need to look at is a 1-minute chart. And that's false, okay? Much better, number one, I trade on a 5-minute chart. But number two, I look at the daily chart. I want to make sure my stock is uptrending on a daily chart, even if I'm just taking it to make 20 cents or 30 cents. And I want to make sure it's downtrending on a daily chart, especially when I'm day trading. The gravitational pull is in your favor, and this is one of my biggest secrets. And I use the 8 exponential moving average to determine the trend. This is the 8 train. You like the 10 train? The 8, yeah, I like the 8. The 8 is the best, okay? So this is how it works. This is a chart of the S&P 500, and the 8 is pretty much the black line going up and down in the chart. And it's really simple. When a stock or an index closes above the 8, you want to ride it up the track, okay? Like to go long, and I like to get out when it closes below the 8 and ride it down the track. I like to go short, and then I cover my short when it goes above it, and I ride it up the track, and then I get out when it goes below it, and I ride it down the track, okay? Now, this is not the only moving average that I like. I like to use another moving average in conjunction with the 8. It's called the 4 EMA, exponential moving average, and I call it the express train. All right, this moving average has a higher velocity and a stronger momentum than the 8. And how I use these guys together is when the 4 EMA crosses above the 8, right? That's when we like to go long. When the 4 EMA crosses below the 8, we like to go short. So here's a chart on a USO. And I'm going to circle where those crossovers are. The 4 is in hot pink, and the 8 is in black. All right, there are about 4 crossovers here. And I don't like them just to cross, I want them to separate. So we see white space in between them. And I also like it on higher volume when they cross. Okay, so you want the cross and high volume. Now check out those 4 same whispers that I just showed you. Here are their daily charts. So you can see that Bank of America, right? The 4 had just crossed over and started to separate there. XLF as well, crossed over and separated. TLT, that's the opposite, bearish, crossed below it and separated. Now IAU, a little bit different there. It was about to cross, but we had a print. So this is the only time that I will break any of my rules is for a print. I'll go against anything if I see somebody big coming in to buy or sell. Getting a little bit early, but when you see the cross and a print, it's even better. So I know some of you maybe not really understanding the word print so well. So how many of you watch your time and sales windows while you're trading? Oh, good. Excellent. Right. Every buy and sell is recorded and printed right here in your time and sales, okay? This is the level 2 in time and sales of the SPY. It's definitely pricey. I don't trade it. I do the options on the SPY. I like to do the weekly options. Now, the price and share size is recorded right there. And you have to add 2 zeros to mine, okay? So this big orange trade right there that says 5,011 is really 501,000 shares. Now, what I want you to notice is the price of the print, 182.70. Now, at 12:22 p.m., right, the SPY was not trading at 182.70, it was trading at 180.40, right? How did the SPY go from 180.40 to 182.70 and then back to 180.40 in like 2 seconds, right? That's crazy. What the heck is that, right? Well, coincidentally, look at the high of the day, 182.70. Somebody smart sold at the top, right? They got out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this print was actually 3 hours late. It was done 3 hours earlier, but it wasn't shown to us until the SPY already dropped down. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call the dark pool. All right? It's pretty dark. Very dark. All right? It's a network that allows traders, I don't want to scare you, that allows traders to buy and sell large orders without running the risk that other traders are going to see their hands. These trades are not revealed until after it's done. So this way, Goldman Sachs can sell 20 million shares of the SPY at 182.70, and we won't see one single share until his entire order is done. Now, it's done on an alternative network. So Goldman Sachs has one called that Sigma X, and Barclays has one that's called the Liquidity Cross. Now, all right, 3 hours, that's okay, I guess, right? But, you know, I started to see trades that were not reported until 24 hours later. These trades weren't done today. They were clearly done yesterday because the SPY didn't even trade nowhere near that today. And I thought, that's crazy. That's like against the law. Like I always thought that when you do a trade, you have to report it that day, right? Everybody think that? You have to report that trade that day, right? Yeah, well, guess what? There's a loophole. She's a lawyer. She'll enjoy this part. There's a loophole. And if Goldman Sachs does a trade from their New York desk and they cross the trade to their London desk, okay, they don't have to report the trade for 24 hours. I mean, how else are they going to sell 98 million shares without moving the market down? And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how I have spotted the last 10 corrections before they happened. By seeing that trade I just showed you, that 501,000 share trade, that is their signature share size trade. It's always 501, and it's always a day late. And when I see these trades 3 days in a row, okay, 3 late across the market on the SPY, the Russell, the Qs, I call a correction. And every single time, I've been right. And it's millions and millions of shares. And when they're buying, okay, same exact thing. They're late a day, but we don't need 3 days. Usually 1 day is all it takes. You know the correction is over. When they bought it yesterday, they don't show us today, it is. Now, I've done numerous workshops that you can download off my website, and each one has a different correction in it. Okay, it has my tweets, my trades, it has all the pictures. I have hundreds and hundreds of pictures of the dark pool. So each one has at least one. Some have two. Counting the Cards of Wall Street Part 3 has 2 corrections in it. And what I love about this correction the most is that the money flow changed. So money flows out of the market, it's got to flow somewhere. So these first corrections, August 5th, January, July, all flowed into gold. But guess what happened September 9th, 2014? I spotted money flowing into bonds, so the bond ETFs, and the dollar, the UUP, the dollar ETF. And I knew gold was going to go up. Gold was going to go down, the dollar was going to go up, and bonds were going to go up. All right, so each one is quite different. Now, every Monday I do run a special, a Cyber Monday special, where we run really big discounts. In fact, we're going to be doing a really big sale Black Friday, so stay tuned for that. We're going to be running a great sale on all my workshops. Now, I want to know how many of you trade by yourselves every day? All right. It gets lonely, doesn't it? Trading by yourself, right? Banging your head against the desk. It really can lead, look, it's not a social occupation, is it? Staring at a computer screen. And it can lead to actually anxiety. And I found a cure because I studied psychology. I have to have a cure for things like this. I run an online trading room. It's an educational trading room called the Java Pit, and there are some of my traders over there. And we have all different trade. We have beginner traders, intermediate traders, advanced traders, and there's definitely a psychological benefit to being in a trading room. You know, for one thing, right, you only have 2 eyes, and I have over 400 eyes in my trading room right now. And you know what? I took the time to train these people. So all day long, they're calling out the best high probability trades, calling out the dark pool trades. You know, I learned a long time ago, you know, people always say, why do you do what you do, Stephanie? Like, why am I here today, right? I could be sleeping, right? I could be trading by myself, but what I learned 20 years ago was running a trading table that if I taught Frank, Anthony, Rich, John, and Cliff my system, they would call out stuff. I wouldn't have to work so hard. You know, I can only see so much myself. In fact, this week, one of my traders, Kathy, called an amazing trade. You know, I called it out of my morning meetings. So I do 2 meetings in the morning, 2 meetings a day. The first one is before the market opens. And it's all my high probability setups. So I discussed Verizon. I love Verizon. I drew a trend line. It was in a downward trend, and I said if it breaks above $47, I want to get into this. Now, of course, I got busy. You know, I was watching my other trades, and I didn't see Verizon, but Kathy called it out. I said, oh, that's great. I got in it. I'm up $1 right now. I still like it, above 48 right now, but it looks like a nice trend change. So that's why I teach my traders. And it's not just me in my room. I have amazing traders, and they teach me things every single day, which I absolutely love. It doesn't matter how long you're in this business. All right? I think everybody here will probably say, hey, you know what? I learned something new today, or I could learn something new. Now, I want to give you an example of what happens in my trading room. So I have the chat from this past Friday, so I hopped on a plane on Saturday, so I wanted to take the most recent chat from Friday to show you guys what happens in my trading room. So I'm just going to run down here. Now, on Friday, I want to just explain something. We spotted big sell prints on gold recently, okay, on the IAU. I showed you those prints at 12.55. We spotted more sell prints at 12.24 and more, another 8 million at 12.09, okay? Massive selling on gold. So my traders were all short. And there was one trader in my room called Cameron. We call him Cameron the Magnificent. Everybody's got nicknames. And he made us get into this trade on gold. He's a really good options trader, and he found it Thursday night, 22 puts for 6 cents, and they expire the next day. He said, you guys, you got to get into this. This is amazing. We have a 6 cent, that's our risk, 6 cents. We're either going to lose 6 cents or we're going to make a lot. And we knew gold was going to, crash down. And so in the morning, it's starting at 9:41 Eastern, you can see the first thing Cameron wrote is, do not sell GDX, we call them lottery tickets because they're 6 cents. Do not sell the lotto puts. And, I've never seen him this crazy. He was yelling at everybody, gold is going to go down, and if you sell, I'm leaving the room. He was really adamant. I was okay, sitting on my hands. So you have to read through this chat here. But you can see the traders were all buying either the bear gold ETFs. That's how you can short gold in your IRA account. If you can't short J-Dust, you can see over here, just to run down here, you can see this guy in Dust. Dust is a bear ETF. Gopi bought Dust. The Mall Man, he bought GDX puts. It goes on. Cameron bought more JDST. That's bearish. That's the inverse, right? So he was shorting in here. It goes on and on and on. And he was sharing targets. This guy bought live GDX puts. Those prints on IAU are a gift, is what I wrote. I'm all in blue, all my stuff. And let's see. All right, so Ron, he's the Wall Street wizard. He sold a quarter, and Cameron was not happy about that. You got to see. And so this, let me just. Now, the puts that he made us buy were up 5,000%, okay? How do you not sell that, right? Who here is going to sell some 5,000%? Anybody? It's hard to hold on to something that's up 5,000%. I sold some. I had to. Okay, I don't care. I secretly sold some, but I held a quarter, and you'll see. I know I put my stuff in here, just reading down here. He bought more. Okay, time is going on. His puts were up, Viking John, 42%. This was the best day of the month, I want to tell you. There's days that come along, and you really got to take advantage of them. And so here, his puts were, he was crazy. We're up big. His puts were up 83%. Here, look, I leave the Java pit forever if anyone sells the GDX lottos from yesterday, okay? He was crazy. This is what goes on in my room. And so Ron, right after he said that, look at that. I guess he wanted Cameron to leave. He's like, I sold my GLD puts 400%. All right, it was insane. His puts were up live 113%. So it was a really, really good day. Now, these are my puts, by the way. I did get out. I made 1,000% ROI my last quarter, always the last quarter. I got to scale out into it. But these are my puts. We bought them for 6 cents, and they went up to 90. I didn't even get the high. I got out at 79 cents, you guys. So, it's all about the dark pool. It's all about pre-market price action. And here were the prints. So, again, this was the whisper I showed you in the beginning, the 12.55, but we spotted more sell prints here that were in my whispers again this day and again. All right? This is massive, massive selling. So I do 2 audio meetings in my room. First one's before the market's there, but I am there all day long trading from 2 to 3 Eastern Standard Time. I do an afternoon meeting where I go through all those dark pool trades during the day, and I really map out trades for my traders. And I look for unusual unusual prints. So I've been studying this for a very long time, and I know when there's something that's not normal. For example, about a month ago, we spotted a 2.5 million sell print on Wells Fargo, and it's in my Whisper. We all went short because it closed below the print. 2 days later, Wells Fargo came out with news. Fraudulent bank accounts. The prints always come first. I don't listen to the TV. I don't care what's going on in the world. Fundamentals mean nothing, especially when it comes to short-term trading. If I'm doing longer-term trading, absolutely, I want to make sure that company is healthy and all that stuff. But you know what? I've always learned that just following the tape is always the best way to go. Now, I do have a trial membership on my trading room, and for 30 days, it's only $9.95. That's it. I want you to come in and try it. Now, you're either going to love it and say, Stephanie, where have you been my whole life? Or you're going to say, oh, I can't do this. This is nuts. You guys are crazy. I totally respect both. I don't even have salespeople. Nobody's going to call you, try to push into anything.